Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you had a great weekend. It's been a few days since I've uploaded a video. I just wanted to take a little bit of a long weekend from uploading, but I am back. I'm ready to go. So if there's anything you want to see on my channel over the next few weeks, let me know. But today's video is going to be all about some makeup products that surprised me. Sometimes when you try makeup products, you just know you're going to like it, whether it's a formula you enjoy or a brand that you love. But sometimes you're a little bit skeptical about products. And if you're anything like me, like sometimes I'm like, that product's not going to work for me, but I'm going to try it anyway. And that is what happened with these products. These are 10 products that I didn't expect to like just based on the reviews or, the products that I typically love, but they definitely blew me away and I enjoy them so much. So I'm excited to share them with you. I have a couple of videos like this on my channel, so I'll link them below, but I would love to know which products have recently surprised you. If you guys have tried something and it just blew you away, let me know in the comment section below. Okay, let's start with the Farsali Liquid Powder Oil Balancing Serum. I've been talking about this a lot over the past few months, but I think the first time that I tried it was actually on camera when I did a Get Ready With Me video, and you could probably tell in that video that I just didn't think it was going to work for me. I had hopes that it would, but I've tried so many mattifying products, and typically when I use a mattifying primer or some sort of base, I don't love how my foundation applies on top. Sometimes if you apply a mattifying base, it dries down in weird places and foundation just doesn't look as smooth, but I was so surprised by the fact that this worked. In fact, the first time I tried it, I felt like it worked a little bit too well, but now that we are in spring and heading into summer in a few weeks, this has become an absolute staple of mine, and it works perfectly to mattify my skin and keep it matte all day long. So if you have oily skin, I think you'll enjoy this product, but I was so skeptical of it because it goes on like this liquidy serum and then it dries down to a matte finish, but it really does keep your skin matte all day long, and it's become such an essential for me. So I'm so happy that this one surprised me, and I do enjoy it so much. This next product really surprised me, and I think it's because, I've tried a lot of tinted moisturizers and BB creams and CC creams in the past, and I really never found one that worked well for me until I tried this one. It is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. When I got this one in the mail, I did not expect to like it. It's not something that I would have purchased on my own. I did get it in the mail as PR, but I'm so glad that I did and that I decided to test it out because it's become such a staple for me. And I think part of the reason why I do enjoy it more than I thought I would is because my makeup preferences have changed a little bit. I do like a good matte full coverage foundation, but sometimes I'll reach for something a little bit more lightweight and comfortable like this product, especially for day-to-day wear or if I'm not wanting to wear a lot of makeup. But I also think this product kind of helped me, change my makeup preferences a little bit because this stays in place really well for a tinted moisturizer. In my experience, a lot of tinted moisturizers break down very quickly. They leave my skin looking really oily or greasy. They settle into fine lines. They're just not my go-to product. This one is so different from any one that I've tried because it does stay in place well. It looks very smooth and even on the skin. It doesn't settle into fine lines and it doesn't break down as quickly. So this definitely surprised me. I did not expect to like this, let alone love it, and it's become an absolute staple of mine. I have two bronzers to talk about, and that fact in and of itself surprises me because typically I don't venture out too much when it comes to bronzers. I have like 2 or 3 formulas that I love and I use over and over, and over the past 2 years, whenever I've tried a new bronzer, I haven't loved it, so I've kind of stopped purchasing them, but I did get one in a subscription box that really surprised me. This one is the Too Faced Chocolate Gold Soleil bronzer. I have been using this every single time I wear bronzer. I am wearing it today, and I just feel like it gives my skin the most gorgeous, golden, smooth glow. I got this in a BoxyCharm. I think it was actually my BoxyCharm from the month of May, and I was so surprised when I swatched this in that video because, if you were to describe a bronzer to me as like a golden bronzer with shimmer in it, I wouldn't even try it, but I got it in my BoxyCharm, so I swatched it, and when I swatched it, I was so surprised by the fact that it was so smooth and the shimmer looked really pretty. So I decided to test it out and I've been wearing it nonstop. First of all, this is such a smooth bronzer. So it goes on really effortlessly. It blends onto the skin beautifully. I just take a large fluffy brush and blend it all over my face. And I love how it gives my skin just like a warm glow. The shimmer is really beautiful. It's definitely noticeable. Like if you're in the sun, you can see shimmer on your skin, but it's more of a natural shimmer and it doesn't look like I I thought it would. I think I always thought shimmer and bronzer would look almost like a highlighter, but it just looks really glowy and gorgeous. It really surprised me. I think it's partly because I recently decluttered my Too Faced Milk Chocolate Bronzer and also my Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. I didn't feel like those were as smooth or blendable as other formulas in my collection, but this one feels a lot different when you apply it, and I love the fact that it has that like subtle golden shimmer in it because it looks so pretty. So I am so surprised by this one, but there's actually another bronzer palette that surprised me. This is the Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder Palette. It comes with 4 different bronzer shades in here, and they all perform so well. These are very, very smooth, really blendable, just easy to work with. They can be a little bit powdery, but as long as you don't mind a little bit of powderiness, I think you'll enjoy this formula because it does blend out so beautifully on the skin. And the reason that I was a little bit skeptical isn't because I don't love Essence. I think their products do perform well, but sometimes when you get 4 different bronzers for under $10, you can be a little bit skeptical of the actual quality. And like I said, on top of that, bronzers don't typically work well for me, but I've been reaching for this one so much. In fact, my 2 go-to bronzers, the e.l.f.'s Primer Infused Bronzer and the Balm's Take Home the Bronze, have kind of gotten pushed aside for this palette. This is what I've been using the majority of 2020. I want to talk about a couple of eyeshadow palettes that surprised me. Typically when I try palettes these days, I don't come across too many palettes that don't perform well because I feel like brands have kind of stepped it up all across the board when it comes to their eyeshadow palette formulas. But sometimes I am surprised by how much I actually enjoy a palette. This one is the Too Faced Born This Way, the Natural Nudes palette. Now, Too Faced I feel like has been kind of off the eyeshadow palette game for a while. They were so big when they did their chocolate bar palettes, their sweet peach palette, but I don't feel like they've put out an eyeshadow palette that's been really great, you know, in a long time. I could be wrong because I don't try every single new release, but what surprised me about this palette is that it looks like a neutral palette, and I do have quite a few neutral palettes in my collection that I love, so I don't typically expect to be blown away by them or even discover a new neutral palette that becomes a staple for me, but this one has become a staple for me because I do enjoy the formula. The matte shadows are very smooth and really easy to work with, and they blend out onto the eyes in just a few seconds. What really surprised me was the metallic formula because when I first tried it, I don't think that I enjoyed it, but it's a lot different than other metallics that I've tried. These are a little bit more dry. They're almost slightly gritty, so they don't feel as great as other metallics do when you're first applying them, but once you get them on the eyes, they're so pretty and so eye-catching, and it makes it look like you put a lot more effort into your eyeshadow look than you actually did, and that's what I love these days because there's not a lot that brands can do when it comes to neutrals, so whenever they do anything that kind of sets them apart, I am all for it. And I think that if you're willing to work with your eyeshadow a little bit, or you don't mind layering it up to get the like desired color that you want, you will love this palette. The metallics, like I said, they're a little bit interesting, so I don't think they're going to appeal to everyone, but once you kind of blend them out onto the eyes or layer them up with your finger on the lid, they look so beautiful and so eye-catching. So this palette really surprised me. I always like how my makeup turns out when I wear it, whether it's a little bit more natural or a little bit more intense and smoky. I just enjoy using this palette. The first product that I tried from Profusion was this Mirage eyeshadow palette. It retails for $13 and you get 35 different shadows. So I'll be honest with you guys, when I saw the price tag, I was a little bit skeptical about the formula. Not because affordable makeup can't be great. You guys know that I love affordable makeup. I love drugstore brands, but 35 shadows for $13 is one of the best deals that I've seen for a palette. So I was a little bit skeptical, I'll be honest. I was wrong. These shadows perform well. Now I will say the con for me is that they're not as saturated or as rich as some of the other shadows in my collection like Juvia's Place or Natasha Denona. I won't say that it's as great as those brands, but it does perform well. If you're somebody who doesn't mind building your shadows up a little bit, then this might be a great option for you. I know some people like more of a subtle palette that they can build up because it can be a little bit easier to work with rather than a super intense shadow that you have to blend out. I was just really surprised by how much I enjoyed this palette. It made it through my eyeshadow palette declutter. I do reach for it. Typically, I don't love super large palettes, so they actually have some smaller options on their website as well that I've been enjoying, and I just couldn't believe how well the formula actually worked because they're incredibly affordable. I've been so surprised by how much I've been wearing these Bite Beauty matte lip crayons. These are so good, and I know that Bite Beauty has kind of been redoing a lot of their line because they are going completely vegan, and I don't know if I've tried their matte lip crayons before they redid them, but this new formula is great. I would say the comfort level is definitely in the middle of like the Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche lipsticks and a liquid lipstick. Like they're not as comfortable or as creamy and smooth as the Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche lipsticks, but they're not as dry as a liquid lipstick. They kind of fall in the middle. So if you want that matte finish, but you don't want the dry, uncomfortable feeling of a matte liquid lipstick, you might enjoy these. It's really nice if you're wearing like a bright color, because I love this shade Stinger, because you can apply it and it will stay in place, but again, it doesn't dry down to like that dry, uncomfortable liquid lipstick finish. You can always throw a gloss on top as well, or like a lip balm, but I've just been enjoying these, especially these two colors, and I'm so surprised by how much I've been wearing them, because typically I'm not a big matte lipstick fan. If I had my choice, I would go for a gloss or a cream finish lipstick, but these kind of have me changing my mind. I do have one skincare product that I wanted to mention. This is the Milk Makeup Vegan Milk Moisturizer. I think the reason this surprised me is because I didn't expect to like such a heavy moisturizer. Typically, I prefer something a little bit more lightweight. At night, I will use something a little bit heavier, but before this, I was using the Drunk Elephant Protini, which isn't even super heavy, and this has actually replaced that. And the reason why I'm so excited about that is because this is a lot less expensive than the Drunk Elephant Protini. They come with the same amount of product, and I want to say the Protini is like $68, and this one is $38. And because this is so heavy, a little bit goes a long way. So this has actually lasted me a lot longer than the Protini. So I use this every night before I go to bed, and it's so perfect because the next day when I wake up, my skin is so moisturized, even to the point where it looks a little bit oily, but I don't mind because I'll just wash my face and my skin looks and feels amazing and smooth. And again, it's $38, but a little bit goes such a long way. So this jar will last you forever. I think I originally tested it out in January, and you know, it's almost the end of May, and I have a good amount left. I mean, I've used up the majority of it, and I have used a couple of other moisturizers on and off, but essentially, you know, it has lasted me a lot longer than I thought it would. This is a little bit of an older one, but every single time I use this product, I'm so surprised by how much I like it, because I'm not typically the biggest fan of cream cheek products, but the Flower Beauty blush bombs are honestly amazing. If cream products intimidate you, or they don't typically work for you, but you're still curious to try them, I do recommend picking these up because they're so surprising. I guess they're kind of more of like a gel cream formula, so they're not super heavy. They're very lightweight and blendable, and I think that's why I like them so much. Sometimes when I apply cream products, they're so hard to blend out and they kind of stay in the place where you initially apply them, but these are really easy to work with, whether you want to apply them directly to the cheek, use them on the back of the hand, and then use like a stippling brush or your fingers. They just go on so nicely, and they stay in place really well for cream products. I feel like they set the bar really high for me when it comes to cream products, because now whenever I try a cream blush, I kind of compare it to this, and nothing really comes close. Like, this is pretty much the only cream formula that I really enjoy using. And again, that surprised me because typically I'm not a big cream blush fan, but these are amazing. So if you guys haven't tried these are totally worth the hype. I know a lot of people rave about them, but there's a good reason why. I almost forgot about the e.l.f. bite-sized eyeshadow palettes. Now, I did expect to like these, but I didn't expect to love them. I recently ranked all of the eyeshadow palettes that I've tried so far in 2020, and these were #1. So I feel like that kind of says a lot. Now, I did only purchased the 2 neutral quads originally, but recently I did pick up the other ones because I was curious to see if they performed as well. Today I'm wearing the pumpkin pie quad. So I have the 2 matte shadows in the crease, and then the darker metallic shadow on the lid, and then some combination of the shadows on the lower lash line, and this performed really well. I will say that there was a little bit more fallout with this quad compared to the other quads, so I don't know if that's going to be the case with all of them. I used the pink quad, like the rose water quad yesterday, and that one was fine. So I feel like there might be some slight inconsistencies, but overall I'm just so impressed by the formula. And like I said, I expected to like them, but I didn't expect to love them as much as I do. I saw that e.l.f. was actually saying that their new palette with J Kissa is actually even better than these, and I did pick that one up. It's like a gorgeous rainbow palette, so I'm excited to try that one out. I will keep you guys posted. So those are all of the products that surprised me. I didn't expect to love these products, but I really do. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any products that recently surprised you. I would love to know, and I'll see you guys very soon with a new video. Bye.